Mr. Secretary, the United States has had to make some difficult decisions about South Vietnam. What are the alternatives that are open to us, the options in the word you've familiarized?
Well, there are four, I think, Mr. Collingwood. First is to withdraw completely from the area. Second is to move toward neutralization. The third is to initiate military actions outside of South Vietnam, particularly against North Vietnam. And the fourth is to make more effective the program of economic assistance, military training, and logistical support, which we extend to the government of South Vietnam.
And why did we choose the one which we have chosen?
If the communists were to control South Vietnam, almost surely eventually their control would extend through Southeast Asia. And there would be a ripple effect as far west probably as Pakistan and as far east as the Philippines and certainly to the south through Indonesia. We completely rejected, categorically rejected, withdrawal from South Vietnam. We've encouraged those people to fight for their independence. They've asked for our assistance. We've given it. We'll continue to give it. As for neutralization, no one has suggested that North Vietnam would accept neutralization. No one has suggested that the Chinese communists would allow them to choose neutralization. And as far as neutralization of South Vietnam is concerned, it would be just a way station on the road to communist domination. This is clearly understood by the South Vietnamese. As to initiation of military actions outside of South Vietnam, particularly against North Vietnam, we've studied the implications of that course thoroughly. We've considered alternative means of carrying it out. And whatever the ultimate course of action may be, whatever is forced upon us by our adversaries, we recognize that it will be only a supplement to and not a substitute for progress within South Vietnam itself. So we then turn to, and as a matter of fact have adopted, the fourth alternative, a program to increase the effectiveness of the current counterinsurgency effort within South Vietnam itself.
Now, of course, that really is what we've been doing all along, isn't it, Mr. Secretary? And you went out there and found that the situation had deteriorated, and yet now we're recommending, or you are recommending, an even larger effort on the part of the United States. How do you reconcile those two
Because
things?
we now have a leader of South Vietnam, General Khan, who himself is ready to put that nation on a war footing. He has developed a national mobilization plan to fully mobilize all of the material and personnel resources of the country. He'll probably accompany it with a national service law. And with that kind of a leadership and that kind of a program, we can much more effectively support them. We can expand our economic aid and we expand our military training and logistical support.
Well, is there time for General Khan to establish his authority?
Yes, I feel so. He feels so. General Taylor, who accompanied me, believes so. There is time for us to put into effect the program of increased economic and military assistance.
Now, Mr. Secretary, you've spoken of our help to increase his forces. You've used the figure of 50,000. You also use the figure of about 40,000 people to go out into the provinces, social welfare, agricultural, and other activities. Now, won't that mean an increase in American personnel there, too?
It may increase certain categories of American personnel, but on balance, I doubt that there will be any increase. The South Vietnamese are willing to carry on their own fight. We all recognize, the South Vietnamese and we in our government here, that the war must be won by the effort of the Vietnamese. We are providing economic assistance, we're providing military training and logistical support. We're not carrying the brunt of the fighting. And I think our people will always be willing to provide whatever economic and military training, logistical support and other people require and will utilize in their own defense.
So that implies, one, that it really isn't our war to win, and two, that you have determined that there still is a chance that it can be won.
There is no question in my mind but what it can be won. It will be a long struggle. It is a mean, frustrating war, but it can be won, and we propose to help the Vietnamese to win it.